While my daughter was in the hospital with a broken arm, my mom called, "Come help decorate for your nephew's party. He wants you there." "I can't. She's in surgery." Mom snapped. "You always make everything about her." I hung up, blocked her number, opened my banking app, and canceled the $1,900/month transfer labeled Mom Support. She noticed before my daughter was even out of recovery. My name is Jeremy. I'm 34, a chef, and the guy in my family who handles things. Not the fun one, not the golden one, not the one people brag about. Just the one who pays, shows up, drives, fixes, cooks, apologizes, and somehow still gets told I'm difficult. If you have a family like mine, you know the role. You become the reliable background character, the one who doesn't need much, the one who can take it. My mom likes to call it being strong. I call it being used. I work long shifts, the kind where you smell like garlic and fryer oil and your knees ache when you finally sit down. I'm not rich, but I'm steady. I budget. I plan. I do the boring adult stuff because I have a kid. My daughter, Lily, is 9. She's the best part of my life. She's also the easiest target for my mom's resentment, because in my mom's mind, Lily took me away. My sister, Cara, has a son, Mason. He's 7. He's the crown prince of the family, the miracle grandbaby, the little man, the one who gets themed parties and professional photos and a whole week of hype. Lily gets polite smiles. Or worse, comparisons. Last month, Lily broke her arm falling off the monkey bars at school. One second I'm plating salmon, the next I'm ripping my apron off while my sous chef is shouting, "I got it, go!" The ER smelled like antiseptic and stress. Lily sat on the bed with tears on her cheeks, trying so hard to be brave. Her little fingers were swelling, her arm already starting to bruise. I kept my voice calm because that's what dads do. "Hey, look at me," I told her. "You did the right thing. You yelled for help. We're here. You're safe." She nodded. Her bottom lip shook anyway. The doctor came in, serious face, clipboard. "Clean break," he said. "But it's displaced. We need to set it. There's a chance she'll need surgery." Surgery? That word made my stomach drop. I texted Cara out of habit, not because she's supportive, because my family trained me to keep everyone updated. Me. Lily broke her arm. At the hospital. Might need surgery. Cara responded 2 minutes later. "Cara, OMG. Anyway, are you still coming tomorrow to help decorate for Mason's party? Mom said you'd do the balloon arch." I stared at the screen like it was written in another language. I didn't even reply. I shoved my phone in my pocket because Lily was asking for water and the nurse needed paperwork and I had to sign consent forms, and my brain was trying to stay in one piece. A couple hours later, Lily was in a tiny hospital gown that swallowed her. They wheeled her toward imaging. I walked beside her, holding her good hand. She whispered, "Daddy, am I going to go to sleep?" "Maybe," I said soft, "but I'll be here when you wake up." Then my phone rang. Mom. I hesitated, because even after everything, some part of me still jumps when she calls. I answered quietly, stepping into the hallway. "Hi, Mom." She didn't say hi back. "Jeremy," she said sharp, like my name itself annoyed her. "Where are you? We need you at Cara's house. Mason wants you there early. He's excited." I blinked. "I'm at the hospital. Lily's arm is broken." A pause, like she was waiting for the punchline. "And?" she said. I actually looked down at my phone, like maybe I hit the wrong button and accidentally called a stranger. "I'm at the hospital," I repeated. "They're talking about surgery." Mom exhaled hard through her nose. "Jeremy, don't start." "Don't start what?" "This," she snapped. "This thing you do where everything becomes about Lily." My throat went tight. My ears started ringing. "Mom," I said, slow, careful. "She's 9. She's injured. I'm not leaving." Mom's voice got colder. "Mason has his party tomorrow. Cara has a lot to do." You always make everything about her. About her, my kid, my injured kid. I stood there in a hospital hallway under fluorescent lights, listening to my own mother talk like my daughter was an inconvenience, like Lily was a hobby I refused to put down. And that was the moment I realized this wasn't just another annoying phone call. This was the line, and somebody was about to cross it. Here's the part that makes me feel stupid. This wasn't new. This was just the first time my mom said it out loud in the middle of an actual crisis. My dad died when I was 21. After that, Mom made grief her personality and guilt her hobby. Kara moved back home temporarily. Temporary became permanent. Kara got pregnant, and suddenly Mom had a purpose again. She called Mason my second chance. She said it like she was reading from a script, and I became the helper. At first, it was small. Can you pick up diapers on your way over? Can you cover the electric bill this month? Kara's stressed. Can you come fix the sink? You're good with your hands. I didn't mind helping sometimes. I loved Mason. He was a cute baby. I love kids. I'm a chef. I feed people. Taking care of people is literally my job. But it didn't stay reasonable. It turned into expectations, then demands, then this weird family rule where my time and money were treated like community property. When I got promoted to sous chef, Mom didn't say congratulations. She said, "Good. Now you can finally help more." When I got my first real apartment, Mom's first question wasn't, "Are you happy?" It was, "So you'll still come every weekend, right?" When Lily was born, I thought it would change things. I thought my mom would soften. I thought she'd love her granddaughter the way normal grandmas do. Instead, she got competitive. She'd hold Lily and say stuff like, "She's cute, but she's so clingy." Mason was never like this. Or, Kara doesn't get help like you do. Kara's doing it alone. Kara was not doing it alone. Kara lived with Mom, didn't pay rent, and got constant childcare. But reality never mattered. The story mattered. And in the family story, Kara was always struggling. Mason was always deserving. And I was always the resource. I also made the mistake of telling them I had my finances set up to be responsible. I said it casually once like an idiot. Mom latched onto that like a shark. Set up? What do you mean, set up? So I told her I had auto transfers, savings, bills, the boring stuff that keeps life from falling apart. 2 days later, she called me. "Jeremy, I've been thinking," she said, in that sweet voice she uses when she's about to ask for something insane. "It would just be easier if you sent support automatically, like a monthly thing. Then I don't have to keep asking." I laughed. I genuinely laughed because I thought she was joking. She was not joking. She said, "You know I'm on a fixed income." I said, "That doesn't mean cash falls from the sky." I said, "Kara could work." She said, "Don't be cruel." That was her magic word. Cruel. Any boundary I had was cruelty. Any question was disrespect. Any no was abandonment. So I compromised. Because I was tired. I set up a monthly transfer. At first, it was $400. Then $700. Then just for a few months became $1,200. Then Kara got behind on her car payment, and Mom said, "If it gets repossessed, Mason will suffer." So I bumped it. Then Mom needed dental work. Then Mom needed help because Kara had to buy supplies for Mason's school. The number crept up like boiling water. Eventually, it was $1,900 a month. $1,900 every month. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself it was cheaper than the emotional war I'd get if I stopped. I told myself I was helping my mom. What I was actually doing was financing a whole household I didn't live in. And it wasn't like they were grateful. Mom would still call me and say, "You never do enough." Kara would still text me like I worked for her. "Kara, need you to bring cupcakes for Mason's class tomorrow." Me, "I work." Kara, "So, you're a chef. You can just make them fast." Mom, "Don't argue. Mason is counting on you." Like I was the cupcake machine. Like my job exists to serve their kid. And Lily? Lily got the leftovers of my energy. I'd pick her up from school after a double shift, dead on my feet, and she'd say, "Can we go to the park?" And I'd say yes anyway, because she'd look at me like I was her whole world. But then Mom would call while we were at the park. "Where are you? Kara needs you to come over and move furniture." I'd say, "I'm with Lily." And Mom would go, "You always use her as an excuse." It got worse when Lily started noticing. She's 9. She's not dumb. One time we left my mom's house early because Mom made a comment about Lily eating too much. We got into the car and Lily said quietly, "Grandma doesn't like me." I gripped the steering wheel so hard my hands hurt. "That's not true," I lied. Lily stared out the window. "She likes Mason." That night I sat on my couch after Lily went to bed and I just felt tired, like bone deep tired. I started thinking about how much money was leaving my account every month and what I was not doing with it. I wasn't taking Lily on trips. I wasn't building a college fund the way I wanted. I wasn't breathing. I was surviving and funding someone else's comfort. And then Lily broke her arm, and my mom called to talk about balloons. That's the thing about a crisis. It doesn't create new problems. It reveals the ones that were always there. Lily's surgery ended up happening that night. They called it a routine procedure, in the way doctors do when they're trying not to scare parents. But there's nothing routine about watching your kid get rolled through double doors while she tries not to cry. Lily squeezed my hand. "Daddy, don't go," she whispered. "I'm right here," I told her. "I'm not going anywhere." The nurse smiled at me. "Kind but busy. We'll take good care of her." Then the doors closed, and I was alone in a waiting room with a vending machine that ate my dollar and a TV playing muted home renovation shows. My phone buzzed again. Mom. I didn't want to answer, I really didn't, but part of me wanted proof I wasn't imagining it, proof that she really was this cold. So I answered. "What?" I said. "Not even hello." Mom went, "Finally. So what time are you coming in the morning? Kara needs help." I stared at the floor, like if I stared hard enough it would become something else. "I told you," I said, "Lily is in surgery." Mom made a noise like I was being dramatic. "Okay, and? That doesn't mean you can't still show up tomorrow." I actually laughed. It came out sharp. "You want me to leave my kid the day after surgery," I said, "to decorate for Mason's party." Mom snapped. "It's not for Mason's party. It's for the family. It's for Kara. She's overwhelmed." I said, "I'm overwhelmed." Mom's voice turned nasty. "You always think you're the only one who matters." I felt something inside me go quiet, not calm. Just done. "Mom," I said slow, "listen to yourself." She talked right over me. "Mason asked if Uncle Jeremy will do the balloon arch. He's been talking about it all week. Don't disappoint him." I closed my eyes. I pictured Lily's face when she whispered, "Don't go." Then I pictured my mom saying, "Don't disappoint Mason." I said, "My daughter is 9 and she's under anesthesia." Mom's response was instant. "You always make everything about her." That sentence landed like a slap. I stood up in the waiting room, paced to the corner, and lowered my voice. "This is about her," I said. "Because she is my child." Mom scoffed. "So Mason doesn't matter now?" "I didn't say that," I said. "But I'm not leaving the hospital to tie balloons." Mom hissed. "God, Jeremy, you've changed." I said, "No. I've just finally noticed." She went quiet for half a second, then tried a different angle. "You know I count on you," she said, voice suddenly softer. "I'm your mother." I felt my jaw clench. "And Lily counts on me," I said. "I'm her father." Mom's voice went hard again. "So you're choosing her over your family." I looked around at the waiting room. A man sleeping in a chair, a woman with red eyes holding a coffee she wasn't drinking, the soft beep of a phone charger station. This was real life, not party planning, not appearances, not family duty. I said, "If family means abandoning my kid when she needs me, then yeah, I'm choosing her." Mom started raising her voice. "You're so selfish." I cut her off. "This isn't about revenge. This is about closure." She actually gasped, like I said a curse word. "Excuse me," she said. "I'm done being guilted," I said, keeping my voice flat. "I'm done being treated like an ATM. I'm done being told my child is an excuse." Mom spat. "How dare you talk to me like that?" I said, "How dare you call me during my kid's surgery to talk about decorations?" She tried one last time. "If you don't come tomorrow," she said, "don't bother coming around at all." I paused. Then I said, "Okay," and I hung up. My hands were shaking, but my brain felt weirdly clear. For the first time in my life, I didn't chase her. I didn't call back. I didn't apologize for having a spine. I just sat down and waited for the doctor. Lily came out of surgery groggy and pale, but okay, that was the only thing that mattered. She blinked at me in recovery and whispered, "Did you stay?" "I stayed," I said, smoothing her hair back. "I'm right here." She smiled, tiny and tired, and fell asleep again. While she slept, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. "Mom, call me now. Kara, What is your problem? Mom, you embarrassed me. Kara, Mason is crying. Mom, after all I've done for you. I stared at the messages and I felt this old reflex kick in. Fix it. Smooth it over. Say sorry. Make them calm. Then I looked at Lily's cast, her little finger sticking out, and I thought, no, not today. I didn't respond. 2 hours later, Kara called. I let it ring. She called again and again. Then Mom called from a different number. I didn't answer, because here's the truth. They don't call to ask how Lily is. They call to regain control. I took Lily home the next day with a bag of discharge papers and a list of meds. She was brave, but she was hurting. We did the normal stuff. Pillow fort on the couch, ice cream for breakfast because rules were already broken. I helped her wash her hair in the sink because she couldn't get the cast wet, and in the middle of that, my phone buzzed again. Mom, you better show up. I stared at the screen. Then, finally, I did something I should have done a long time ago. I blocked her number. Then Kara. Then my aunt, who suddenly had opinions. The silence after that was so loud it felt unreal. And then I opened my banking app. I didn't do it in a dramatic rage. I did it like someone turning off a dripping faucet that's been driving them insane for years. There it was, the transfer. Every month, the little label I'd typed myself, Mom Support, $1,900. I clicked it, I hit cancel. The app asked if I was sure. I was sure. My thumb hovered for half a second anyway because guilt is a trained reflex. Then I hit confirm. The relief was immediate and also terrifying because I knew they'd notice. They noticed faster than I thought. 2 days later, my email got a notification. A payment reversal attempt. Then a new voicemail from an unknown number. I listened. Mom's voice shaking with rage. Jeremy, what did you do? Then another voicemail. Kara, are you actually insane? Mom says you cut her off. How are we supposed to pay everything? Not, how is Mom okay? Not, how is Lily? Just money. That night, my cousin Ben texted me. He's the one family member who still talks to me like I'm human. Ben, dude, Mom is losing it. She's telling everyone you abandoned her. Me, Lily had surgery. She called about balloons. Ben, yeah, I figured there was more to it. She's saying you're punishing her. I stared at that word. Punishing, like me protecting my kid and my finances, was an attack. The next day, a letter showed up at my apartment door. Handwritten, from Mom, like we're in 1952. It said, after everything I sacrificed, you choose your daughter over your own mother. You're cold. I raised you better. Kara is struggling. Mason doesn't understand why you hate him. You're tearing this family apart. I read it twice. Then I folded it up and put it in a drawer. Not because I wanted to keep it, because I wanted a reminder, a physical reminder of what she thinks love is. Control. For the next week, they tried every tactic. Guilt, anger, concern. My aunt left me a voicemail that started with, I'm worried about you, and ended with, your mother could get sick from stress. Kara sent a message from Ben's phone, because she's that kind of person. Kara, you don't understand how bills work. Mom can't just get a job. I almost replied, neither can I. I already have one. Instead, I did something new. I said nothing, because silence is a boundary too. And while they spiraled, my life got quieter. Not easy. Quieter. I paid for Lily's follow-up visit without panicking about my balance. I bought her a goofy sling with little stars on it because she wanted it. I took a day off work without calculating how much extra I needed to send Mom next month to make up for it. Then Ben texted me again. Ben, she noticed the transfer was canceled. She's freaking out. She said she's coming to your place. That made my stomach drop. I looked at Lily on the couch, watching cartoons with her cast propped on pillows. I texted Ben back. Me, if she shows up, I'm not opening the door. Ben, good. That night there was knocking. Hard. Aggressive. Like the door owed her something. Jeremy! Mom shouted through the door. Open up! Lily's eyes went wide. Is that Grandma? I knelt next to her. It's okay, I said. You don't have to talk to anyone you don't want to. The knocking got louder. You can't hide, Mom yelled. This is ridiculous. I took a breath, stood up, and spoke through the door without opening it. Go home, I said. Mom's voice turned venomous. So you're really doing this? Yes, I said. After I raised you, go home, I repeated. There was a long pause. Then she said, You'll regret this. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult her. I didn't argue. I just said, please leave. And eventually, she did. The quiet afterward felt like oxygen. A month later, Lily's cast came off. Her arm was stiff. She had to do exercises, she complained. She also laughed the first time she could wiggle her wrist again like it was a magic trick. We celebrated with cheap pizza and a movie night. At one point, she leaned against me and said, Are we still going to Grandma's for Easter? My chest tightened, but I kept my voice gentle. No, I said. Not for a while. She was quiet for a second. Then she said, Okay, I like when it's just us. And that was it. That was the whole moral right there, from a 9-year-old with a healing arm. I used to think being a good son meant enduring anything. I used to think family meant you pay no matter what, show up no matter what, swallow your feelings no matter what. But real family doesn't ask you to abandon your kid in a hospital. Real family doesn't treat your love like a limited resource you're spending wrong. Real family doesn't call your child an inconvenience. I didn't cut my mom off to hurt her. I cut her off because I finally understood the truth. If I kept letting her run my life, Lily would grow up believing she was always too much, and I refused to pass that down. So yeah, I blocked her. I canceled the transfer. I chose my daughter, and for the first time, I'm building a life where love isn't measured by how much I surrender. My boundaries aren't a punishment. They're protection. For me, for Lily, for the future I'm finally letting us have.